Hey everybody, I'm out here in the carving tent getting ready to use a cut end from a log. I try to use up as much extra pieces that I have. This was cut off a bigger piece so it would sit flat from a bear I carved earlier, and this is what I have left. So then we're gonna try to, I don't know, carve a bear sitting inside this. So this piece will be up over his head and he'll be in the middle of it or on the side of it. I don't know. We'll we'll see what happens when it's done. You know, carvings like this, I don't really map out. I've kind of got a vision in my head and just go from there. So I'll try to get some good shots for you guys, but you know, follow along. Let's see how this turns out. So here's that bear in a log all cleaned off. This is that scrap piece I showed you a few minutes ago, the end that I cut, just so that another log would sit flat for carving. Next it'll be time to break out the grinders and the sander and start cleaning this thing up. Chainsaw work's all done. Now it's time to clean this bear up. I've moved it over here to one of my workbenches outside to do that. Cleaning up your carvings makes a lot of sawdust. There are times that I do it in the shop and then deal with the mess later, but the weather's not bad. Well, we do have a storm rolling in here, but I've got my tent and the weather's warm enough and I won't be freezing cold, so do it right here. I've got 3 tools out here that I'm going to use today to clean this up with. One's going to be my die grinder with a tapered saber tooth bit. That's a medium coarse. I've got my drill with a Sandaflex head. Is my angle grinder with a flap disc. I think I've got 60 or 80 grit on it. It's getting wore down, so I'm gonna have to wore down, kind of clogged up. I'm gonna probably have to switch that out pretty soon, but hopefully we can get through this carving. Again, still gonna be wearing my carving gear, so I still just got my chaps on. Be wearing the gloves I wear for carving, just these cheap Hardy gloves from Harbor Freight. I'll have my RZ mask on for the dust, and I'll be wearing my protective headgear. I have my screen so I'm not getting so much sawdust in my eyes, and my ear protection. Now that that's cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and use the die grinder and start getting in there a little more and cleaning up around the perimeter here and getting the bear cleaned up where I can with that. Something I want you guys to keep in mind when you're using this angle grinder is you can get kickback with that thing and it's not going to choke out like a chainsaw will. So just be careful. If you're using like the saber tooth bits here instead of a flap disc, those things will shred you apart if you make a mistake. So just have a good grip and just be safe. I think sometimes people get a little more comfortable because, you know, it's not a chainsaw, it's just a power tool, but this thing will mess you up. So just respect the tools you're working with and be safe. There he is, all cleaned up. Got the eyes carved in, little nostrils here. We did around the lips, claws. Kind of did a little line around his body so he would almost look like 2 pieces once it's painted. All right. Now it's just hitting it with a flap sander, and that's going to take off any hairs and round some of the edges for the fur and around here. and that'll be it. It'll be ready for paint and finish. This bear is ready for some finish, whether it be stain or paint. I'm not quite sure yet. I am going to show that process though in this video. Like I said, this bear is going to be, this carving is going to be start to finish, you know, from saw to being ready for sale. But that is all the sanding work. That flap sander really takes away the hairs and helps clean, really just clean the piece up, you know, give it some nice, smooth, natural looking edges. And it's a really great tool to have. One of these days, I really hope to spend the money and get the King Arthur Merlin 2. Now, what that is a mini angle grinder. It's got more of a reach like the die grinder, but on the end it'll hold a 2-inch disc for sanding and shaping, and I think that'd be a great tool to get in here and clean this up with, you know, and with the right disc, do the fur, get in and do some of the fur pattern where you can't quite get the chainsaw in there. Seen some videos on those, they look really cool. Alright, as you can see, I've got the bear moved into a different spot. I got it on my Lazy Susan here I use for painting. I've got some black paint mixed up in my airbrush, and just gonna go through and paint this bear. There it is with the black all on it. Gonna go ahead and grab a little bit of white paint and apply it to the eyes. It'll make the eyes really pop and stand out. So I'm gonna grab a brush, a regular brush, not an airbrush, and paint some white paint in there. Paint. Sometimes this can be tricky, making sure you've got your little dots like even, otherwise your bear's kind of cross-eyed and goofy looking. So, also if you add a little line to the outer edge of the eye, like in the upper outer corner, kind of gives him more of a cuddly or sad look maybe. If you add that line to the inside of the eye, toward the nose, it starts to look a little more aggressive. So, that's it. This guy is ready to dry and then get a clear coat. All right, so this bear is ready for clear. For the most part, he's done. You know, I'm just gonna let the rest of this paint here dry, and then I'll get my clear coat out and I'll brush that on with just a bristle brush, so I can get a good coating on there, good protectant for the weather and things. A few things to keep in mind if you guys attempt this: be safe, wear your safety gear. If you're here just to enjoy the work and see me create something, you know, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. I thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.